Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to It's Poppin', where we talk about everything pop-up camper related. So in this video, we're going to show you how to install a battery disconnect switch, of course, for your 12-volt battery. This is definitely one of those modifications that is nice to have, not absolutely necessary, but for under $12, I think actually under $10 even for the disconnect switch itself. Of course, you'll need a few odds and ends here that'll cost a little bit of money, but you might have those laying around like I did. So for under $10 for the disconnect switch, definitely nice to have. Three things that come to mind that this is really good for. First of all, if you're doing maintenance or work on your 12-volt electrical system, it's really nice to be able to just simply disconnect that switch. Of course, you can always unplug your 120 and shore power, or 110, 120 shore power for that matter. But if you're trying to disconnect your 12 volts, if you're working on your lights or something of that nature, it's a lot nicer to just be able to flip a switch as opposed to taking off your battery cover, undoing the wing nuts if you have those, and messing with all that. Second, let's say you're out camping and you have an electric tongue jack like we do, or even if you have an electric roof lift system that runs off of your 12-volt battery, if you want to just be able to disconnect that, of course if you're on shore power that is, but if you just want to disconnect that battery, that way no one's going to accidentally damage some component of your pop-up camper by actuating a switch on your tongue. That's definitely some peace of mind. And finally, if of course you have your pop-up camper in storage and you want to ensure that there's no drains or unnecessary drain on your battery, propane alarm is a big one, for example. That's always pulling some power if your battery is connected to your pop-up. So if you just disconnect it, you're not draining anything. And then of course you can safely connect your battery maintainer, your battery chargers, and you're not getting an additional charge or something weird like that. Okay, let's start out by making our 8-gauge connector wire that runs from our shutoff switch to the negative battery terminal. So I'm going to use two different connectors. One's a little bit smaller in diameter. This one's going to go to the battery. One that's a little bit larger, of course, is going to go to one of the terminals on the disconnect switch. Of course, this is heat shrink tubing. Alright, so we're going to drill a pilot hole right here, and that's going to be the start of where we put our kill switch coming from the bottom up. So all you'll see is this part of the kill switch coming up and through. And we're going to use a 7/8 inch bit, which I think is the proper diameter. All right, let's see if this fits. Oh yeah. So 7/8 it is. Mark our circles here. Okay, so what I'm going to use to seal off these screws and the top side of the kill switch is just some clear Gorilla Glue. This is the only thing that I have that's clear and waterproof, so I'm sure you could use whatever else, once again, that's waterproof and that suits whatever color you want. So, but I'm gonna throw a little bit of this under, of course, our washers so no water gets in there. Then I'm gonna throw a bead around the top of the kill switch once I get that back out. Okay, now what we're gonna do is simply connect up our existing negative wire to one of the terminals. I think I'm gonna run it to the closer one. And then I will take, of course, our new 10 gauge wire that we just created. Of course, put the appropriate end on here, and then the other end will go to our negative terminal on our battery. Now what we're going to do is just hook back up all of our wires that get connected to our positive lead here. Okay, I think something like that. All right, so it's off currently. This should be on. And let's go check our 12 volt system inside the pop-up. Here's the light switch. All right, we have light. Our battery voltage is reading correctly. Yeah, everything seems to be working fine. Key out, set that there. And let's check the lights now that disconnect. Yep, nothing. So, looks like it's doing its job and not sending any power to the pop-up. To finish this project off, I am going to run a length of paracord through our key and attach that somewhere on the tongue of our camper, so hopefully we don't lose this one. And then of course the second one it came with, I think I'm just going to attach that to our set of keys. Now of course if you lose both keys, it's not the end of the world. You could just disconnect essentially your kill switch, reconnect it back to the negative terminal, and you're just like you were before. But in order to get there, I need to put a bigger hole in this tiny little hole they gave us here, so I can fit our paracord through. There. One bigger hole, and yeah, paracord, no problem. And let me see where I want to tie this off to. So I think I'm just going to tie this right to the tongue jack right here, and that way it won't go too horribly far. Let's see here, something like that. And once again, let's just make sure it reaches all the way to where, yep, we're good to go. All right guys, so that's it for the battery disconnect switch. As always, hopefully we see you in the next video. If not, hopefully we see you out there camping.